Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing Halloween Ends, the much anticipated sequel to the Halloween reboot series, and supposedly the final installment in the entire Halloween franchise. Supposedly, but anyway, yeah. So I guess to sum it up, all up. I don't even know. Like, I'll get into my thoughts on whether the movie was good or bad in a bit, but I'm just trying to like still process what I watched. I'm still having a hard time believing that this is the direction that they decided to take for the last ever Halloween movie. So I guess brief plot synopsis. You know, the trailers give away nothing at all, but plot synopsis based off of the trailers. Yeah, Laurie Strode, Michael Myers finally face off after Michael has kind of been this like dark shadow over the city of the small town rather of Haddonfield, Illinois for over 40 years. After all that time, Laurie and Michael finally get to face off and go head to head with one another. And yeah, that's the plot synopsis. And this is a spoiler-free review. You know, because, you know, that's not my style, as you guys know from my other videos if you've seen them. I don't like to, you know, give a step-by-step summary of what happens or even really give away anything about the plot. I just like to focus on, you know, my overall thoughts and the quality of the film, in my opinion, and all that good stuff. So you're safe with me, because boy, yeah, the trailers don't really give away anything, and the trailers are kind of deceptive. That's all I'm gonna say, because I really don't want to give anything away. So all in all, this is one of those instances where trying to do something different with the franchise as opposed to rehashing what's been done previously. This is another instance where that kind of stumbles due to the pacing and the script. It's not completely terrible, them trying to do something new, them obviously trying to go in a new direction. It's not completely terrible. It's not completely worthless. It is not all bad. There are moments where this new direction that they take with this Halloween installment does work, and while I was watching, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I can tell right away that this is going to divide a lot of fans, but for me, myself personally, I don't mind it, you know, different direction. But then it just kept going on and on and on, and it kept going to the point where I was asking myself in the theater, are we gonna, you know, get to the thing that we're obviously all here to see, that the trailers have been building up, that the marketing has been building up? That's the thing that's literally on the all the posters themselves for Halloween Ends. Are we ever gonna get to that? Because this new direction, this kind of, it really kind of comes out to being like, I can't even call it a subplot, because it takes up like 90% of the movie. 90% of the movie is this different thing, this new direction, this thing that we have never really seen in the Halloween reboot series. I can't speak about all of the other Halloween sequels that have been retconned by the 2018 movie, because admittedly, I haven't seen them. I've only seen the original 1978 Halloween film. I've only seen the 2018 reboot. I've seen Kills, and now I've seen this. So I'm not going to say this is something that's never happened in any of the reboot installments, because something tells me that it has, that they have gone in this direction. So I can't speak to that. But in regards to the original 78 classic, in regards to the 2018 one and the sequel Halloween Kills, this is definitely something, you know, subversive, something that I'm sure that a lot of people weren't expecting to happen. I definitely wasn't expecting it. But again, unexpected isn't bad, and it's one of those things where it's like somebody who keeps like telling the same joke over and over again. Like at first it's funny, you laugh, but then they keep doing it and it starts to become annoying. That's how I would describe this new direction that they decided to take. Like at first it's like, okay, I get it, you guys are trying to do something different. You're not trying to do what the last two movies did. You're trying to go in a different direction, and furthermore, it's not terrible, it's kind of working. But then when it just kept dragging on and on, I was like, all right, can we get to what we all came to see now? But it doesn't. Like, this is literally the whole movie, and as it dragged on and on, I just kept getting more and more irritated. So yeah, all in all, this final installment, this epic conclusion to the reboot trilogy doesn't go out on a high note. It goes out on a very it goes out on a low note. It goes on at a very sour, low note. Not a terrible movie. There are points where it works, but all in all, I left let down. I did leave let down. I did leave a bit disappointed. And I gave myself, so I actually saw it last night, so I gave myself some time to reflect on it, to decide whether just because they went in a different direction meant that it was like irredeemable, meant it was bad, or, you know, whether it just wasn't that good. And it's the latter. Like I said, at first it didn't bother me too much. At first I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed seeing something different. But then when it kept going on and on and on, and it really didn't, you know, it really didn't seem to lead to anything that mattered. At a point, they hint that this new direction might lead to something that is a big deal and that will impact things going forward, but then it just goes away. At that point, I was like, yeah, this has all been really annoying, unnecessary filler that didn't, you know, lead to any sort of new development. So yeah, at that point I was like, yeah, this kind of felt like a waste of time. But then, you know, it does get to, you know, the thing that, again, I don't want to give anything away. It does get to the big thing. And when that happens, I was like, you know, this is what I wanted to see, you know, for most of the movie, but it's like it's the very last thing, but it's good, you know, pretty solid, but it's like at the very end of the movie. So yeah, still not forgiven for that. I was prepared to, you know, be one of Halloween End's biggest defenders. I was prepared to be one of the few people who was like, you know, it's not so bad just because they're going in a new direction and trying out something new. But no, it failed spectacularly. I can't save this movie. I can't defend this movie. Very disappointed in how this final installment of Halloween Ends turns out. I'm especially disappointed because I did actually enjoy Halloween Kills. Sure, it wasn't the best plot-wise and what have you, narrative-wise, but it was more of what I liked about the 2018 reboot, which is just Michael Myers is just on a rampage, and he's just like this, you know, massive force of evil that seemingly can't be stopped, and he's just going around this town, just terrorizing this small community, causing carnage in his wake and in every step he takes. So it was more of what I loved about the 2018 reboot, and I was willing to forgive some of the flaws that were present in Kills just because it was more of that Michael Myers carnage that I love. But with this, can't say why. You don't really get much of that, and, you know, couple that with this new direction that turned out not to really work at all, and you've got a pretty disappointing conclusion to the Halloween franchise. So yeah, with Halloween Ends, I give it a 4 out of 10. I was extremely disappointed and let down by where things ended up. I guess, you know, we'll always have the 1978 classic and the 2018 original, and I can always check out the numerous Halloween sequels that exist out there. But as for this one, nah, Halloween Ends is not it, and I honestly recommend that you don't see it in theaters. Like, if you really want to watch it, it's streaming on Peacock. Save your money, folks. Don't go and see this one. So yeah, as you can tell, very disappointed in this one. I didn't much enjoy it when it first started. When it first started, I was like, you know, I could get on board with this, but when it ended, I was like, yeah, this was a letdown. So yeah, Halloween Ends, I give it a 4 out of 10. This has been another episode of Wade Watches, and I will see you all next time.